Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. I am so excited about this one, y'all, and it is because I have already done one other Gordon Lightfoot song on the channel, If You Could Read My Mind, and I loved it. And I've been loving it ever since. I've been listening to it. It's been on my playlist, and everyone in the comments and on Patreon has been saying, listen to this one next. And so, how can I not? And that really does go to show how all of you can make a difference in what I do here on the channel. So I do have everyone on Patreon make suggestions, and we have polls, but sometimes there is just an overwhelming recommendation from all of you in the comments, and this is one of those, and I'm going to listen to that. We don't even need a poll. This is what should be done. So here we are. Don't forget to do all the things, like and subscribe, Patreon, channel member, coffee, all that good stuff. So enough talking. Let's get to this one and let's listen. Okay, here we go.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the...
Okay. That's a good introduction. I think I'm getting a good visual as to what he's setting up here. So I'm hearing wreck, I'm hearing ship, I'm hearing something about the winds of November coming early, and talking about some places in parts of the United States that I'm sort of familiar with, like the North, the sort of the Great Lakes area, like Wisconsin and all those places. And I heard Chippewa. I know of that name. This is kind of fun. Yeah, so it's a shipwreck somewhere on the Great Lakes. Okay? The sound is already kind of dreamy. Loving that. I don't think that this is going to turn out well. You know, sort of setting up a sad story here. But it's still that folk song sort of, you know, telling the tale, sort of the drinking song. It makes you want to take part in it. It makes you want to sit up and listen to the story. So I think the story was just really taking off. Let's back it up a little bit and see how it continues.
The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and a wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. time came, the old cook came on deck saying, fellas, it's too rough to feed you. At 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, fellas, it's been good to know you. The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours?
Okay, so wow, this is great storytelling here through song. A lot of you know, if you've been watching my other videos, that I'm the kind where I catch on to the music first and then the lyrics. It's always kind of a struggle for me. My ear just always goes to all of the background sounds and the keys and the tones of the voice rather than the words that are spoken. I guess that's one reason why I was able to gravitate so easily to symphonic music, because a lot of the time there is not words there. But then at the same time, I love opera and I love choral music. But even then, I still kind of look at it as the instrumental part, the instrumental approach. But this just completely stands out. I am picturing everything. I am hearing almost every word. And for that to happen to me, I love getting caught up in that. And some of it is his diction. He's very clear in what he's singing. And again, that baritone voice. He's got this luscious baritone voice. It's so rich, but it's also very straightforward, and I can just hear every single consonant, and every vowel is very unhindered. The actual sound of all the music, it's very traditional. In traditional Irish culture, I have attended a couple of meetings called a Goalin, where you sit around the room and you go around and sing traditional songs. I was not able to contribute that much we're kind of limited in what we can do that with for American songs, but I did the best I could. It sure was amazing to sit and listen to everyone else singing these family traditional songs just passed down from generation to generation. I love it. This gives me the same vibe. This story here, what is the point of this story? I don't know. Is this a famous wreck? I don't know much about it. I don't know. And I apologize for that. But that's kind of what we're doing this. Like, help me out. Go ahead and tell me the story. I can look up a little too, but this is sort of the fun of this whole project here, is we sort of help each other out. And I love hearing from all of you, so let me know. But the music itself is not just a simple background. It's so smooth and it's multi-layered. I'm hearing guitars, bum, ba-da-da-dum, but I'm also hearing something smaller, like maybe, I don't know, a mandolin, maybe. I'm hearing a slide guitar, with slide, or a dobro. And it's sort of dreamy. I said it was dreamy last time I stopped, and I still am going to stand by that. Maybe that could represent like the clouds or just the mystique of the whole story and the history of it. And even I'm hearing all these little sounds. It's very interesting. Okay, so I'm not going to stop and look at the lyrics because I'm hearing them for now. So let's continue on. Let's see what happens here. Are there going to be more layers? Or is it going to get back and kind of simplify down like it was at the beginning, kind of come full circle? The compositional part of my brain really wants to know that. So here we go. I'm going to back it up a little bit. That was a neat transition that just happened, by the way. I liked that a lot.
Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say dreamy, I'm going to say haunting. I think that's the appropriate word. It sort of started out dreamy, and then you sort of realize, okay, it's not a happy story, it's a sad story. Should have known. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, okay? But it was haunting. The guitar sound or the dobro, whatever it is, it was really haunting. But it also seemed kind of like waves, like I was moving my head to the beat and just sort of almost allowing myself to kind of get dizzy. That is really, really neat music writing. Of course, I shouldn't be surprised. Again, the first song that I heard of his, the If You Could Read My Mind, is a complete masterpiece. Complete with the modes that are the mode, you know, if you've seen, just watch the other video, you'll see. I don't want to take too much time out of this video from the other song. This song deserves the attention here too, but I just loved If You Could Read My Mind so much, including the string parts. That was really a fun part of it as well. This is a little bit more straightforward. Drums, guitar, vocals. But it's all of these little tiny textures that are added in there that I think really make it special. It really makes it shine. When you compound that with the fact that it's sort of this traditional style of storytelling through song, it really leaves a big impact. So I caught on to more. I heard the lyrics, yay! 29 souls lost. What was that something about? The mansion of ice or something? Beautiful imagery with his words once again. I remember there were a couple of lines like that, and If You Could Read My Mind. But this, oh my goodness, what he writes is just so full of beauty. Even when you're telling a tragic tale. But you know what? If You Could Read My Mind was also kind of a tragic tale. So he's just really good at emoting that. His music writing is just so special. So then we also sort of got to take a little tour through the lyrics. I heard him sort of mentioning all of the Great Lakes. That was kind of neat. And for those of you that don't know about that part of the country, the United States and Canada, and I know he's a Canadian singer and a Canadian artist, but I heard him say something from the, talked about the lakes from the American side. And so he's speaking a language that I kind of know, mentioning a few places that I'm sort of familiar with. It's just a beautiful part of the world. Great weather, except for maybe the November winter stuff he's talking about. You might not want to really be in the lake, around that time of year. It's just a beautiful part of the country, of both countries and of the world. And I'm glad that he's highlighting it. Doesn't happen very often, I guess, so that's kind of neat. But in general, how he describes things and how he sings about them is just, again, it's just really special. I want to just take a really quick look at just a couple of these little special details that I keep talking about here. So one is how he is using his diction, his pronunciation, to bring forth the traditional style of the storytelling through song.
With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the EDMUND FITZGERALD weighed.
With a load of iron ore and 26,000 tons more. That there's just something about the emphasis of the R that really makes this interesting. And then also how he's going to the different syllables. Edmund Fitzgerald. It's that drinking song sort of feel. I really love it.
Empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early.
Oh, and he says the word November, November. It's so luscious how he's sort of chewing on those words at just the right time. So I wanted to go to a spot where it was particularly wavy and haunting.
Lake Huron.
Oh, so I encourage everyone, just close your eyes and listen to the song, and that in the moments when that guitar really leans into those little bends, just almost have your mind bend with it. I'm sure this was used in other music around this time as well. I'm sort of thinking of some Pink Floyd with this. And what's interesting is that, I also thought that Pink Floyd shared a similarity with the usage of the modes, that's musical modes, in If You Could Read My Mind, because they like to do that too. Pink Floyd does that too. Interesting, because they're contemporaries, so is there an influence there, and which way is it going? Something to think about. So towards the end, there was one neat little moment. So one other quick thing that I noticed is Gordon Lightfoot is really good at transitions. He's good at a song with a good old verse and chorus set up. This one could be pretty repetitive, but you just never really grow tired of it. And one reason for that, compositionally, and this is one thing that I listen for, is how they handle the transitions in between each of the choruses or the verses. I really enjoy the amount of time that he puts in between all of these things. It's timed just right, just enough to keep it interesting so you don't feel bored and it's, too repetitive, but at the same time keeps you on the edge of your seat. So this is one of those spots here.
In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in.
It almost came down to nothing, and that wasn't the only time that happened. There was another time earlier where the music almost wound down, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And it's just like, okay, that chapter has come to a close, and we're moving on. And the way he does it, it's not overdone. It's a lot. It really grabs your attention, but it's not overdone. That takes true songwriting talent to be able to do that. In fact, in one of the spots here, he actually added a few beats. I'm not saying that's the first time I've heard that or the only time I've heard that. It's just the way he writes his lyrics is sort of similar to the way he writes his music. It's just so well put together. It's so well balanced, and it's just a complete joy to listen to. Okay, that was Gordon Lightfoot, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And now that I have heard another song from this artist, I am intrigued even further. To me, it seems like he has command of all different styles within his genre. So he can do the romantic thing. He can do the excited storytelling thing. And if he can do those two this well, what else can he do? I'm so excited to hear more from this artist. Let me know what you think that should be. I'm sure that I will be gathering suggestions and narrowing things down on polls on what I should listen to next. I can't believe that I didn't know that this person existed. Where has this guy been hiding from me? Or maybe I was hiding from him. I don't know. But I know about him now. And yes, once again, this is definitely going on my playlist. I'm going to be playing it constantly. What a talent he was. And I also hope to learn more about this actual shipwreck because I think it's a true story. All right, so don't forget to do all the things. Like and subscribe, Patreon, support the channel on Ko-fi, become a channel member. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.